Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 13. Hundreds of thousands of bodies have either been lost or buried at sea, so every time you swim in the ocean, you're basically bathing in a graveyard. Chainsaws were originally invented for childbirth. Female mummies in ancient Egypt were always decomposed more than the male ones, and this is because the male bodies were embalmed a lot sooner while the female bodies were kept at the family home until they started to decompose a little bit. And this was to prevent people from having sex with the dead female bodies. Vlad the Impaler was called this because he would place his enemies ass first on pointed poles that would slowly skewer them to death. Fatal familial insomnia is a disease where a person literally cannot go to sleep no matter what they take or what they do. The symptoms get progressively worse until they die of exhaustion. And for the last one, you might want to look up who invented blow-up dolls. These conjoined brothers who are attached at the hip do not want to be separated. Shivanath and Shivram Sahu are conjoined twins from India who are joined together at the waist. The twins share 2 legs and 4 arms, but have independent hearts and brains. Despite sharing half a body, the twins are able to coexist together in perfect harmony. They're able to shower, eat, and dress themselves. And they're even able to ride to school on a specially made tricycle where one twin winds the pedal and the other steers. But life isn't so easy for the twins, because while doctors say it is possible to separate them, it would have dire consequences for Shivanath, the more dependent of the two. Shivram would retain both legs and go on to live a perfectly normal life, but Shivanath would require full-time medical care. However, the twins say that even if they could afford the surgery, they still wouldn't get separated, because any challenge they may have in life, they want to face together. Videos that seem innocent but have a terrifying backstory, Part 3. While this may look like footage from your typical cheesy dating show from the 70s, the man who the woman chose to go on a date with is serial killer Rodney Alcala, believed to kill over 130 women. Luckily, the female contestant didn't go on a date with him because he gave off a creepy vibe. This video shows a band performing in a bar in Thailand. Minutes later, the entire place catches on fire and 60 people are dead. What's even more shocking is that the band's name is Burn, and the song they're singing is titled, In the End. In 2009, an old man named Edward Mascari uploaded a video of him singing Pretty Woman to his YouTube channel. As it turns out, he was a registered sex offender who wasn't allowed to have a YouTube channel, and was put back in prison where he passed away. Extremely disturbing interviews with evil people, Part 1. Arthur Shawcross was an American serial killer that had a very bizarre story that's commonly used as an example of the flawed justice system in the US. He was first charged with a 5-year sentence after committing robbery and arson, but was released only 22 months in after rescuing a guard from a prison riot. His crimes didn't stop there though, because in 1972 he murdered a 12-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy, but surprisingly was only given 14 years for his crimes. But he was released early yet again because an inexperienced prison staff said that Arthur was by no means dangerous. He murdered 12 people over 2 years, and in this interview he describes killing his cleaning lady, Dorothy.
She was found with her head removed. That's right. How did that happen?
Easy, just pick it up and move it.
What, you just pull the head off?
Yeah, it was already on.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 11. And make sure to watch till the end of the video because the last fact will be from this game called I Wish I Didn't Know. Right now, in your bed are between 100,000 to 10 million dust mites. And if this isn't bad enough, they feast on skin flakes. An octopus is so flexible that it's capable of entering through your mouth, traveling through your digestive tract, and coming out through your asshole. There are over 200 dead bodies on Mount Everest, and they're used as checkpoints by climbers. If you die inside of your house, it's very common that your pet is going to want to eat you. You wouldn't do that, would you? Neil Armstrong's footprints on the moon don't match up with the ones on his astronaut suit. And the craziest one, the natural vanilla, strawberry, and raspberry flavoring actually comes from a beaver's anal gland. Jesus Christ. Haunting facts about serial killers that you'll want to forget, Part 1. After raping his blindfolded victims, the Golden State Killer would be super quiet and pretend like he was gone, and right when the victims would try to untie themselves or go for their phone, he would scare the hell out of them. Jeffrey Dahmer attempted to make sex zombies out of his victims by drilling holes into their head while they were still alive and pouring acid into the holes. American serial killer Albert Fish once cooked and ate a little girl and sent a letter to her parents describing how she tasted. Colombian serial killer Pedro Alonso Lopez raped and murdered over 300 girls. He was in prison for 18 years when he was moved to a psychiatric hospital where they declared him to be sane and he was set free, even though he stated that he planned on killing again. He was released in 1998 and no one knows where he is or what he's doing. If something like this ever happens to you, just remember it's not real. A teenage boy woke up in the middle of the night and was unable to move anything except for his eyes. He then noticed a shadowy figure standing beside his bedroom door. It appeared to be a dark figure with razor-sharp teeth. The boy was absolutely terrified. It came closer to the boy and whispered, "I'll come get you when you're ready to die." Suddenly, the figure transformed into a familiar-looking man. It slowly backed up toward the door when the boy realized it was his father. The boy attempted to call out, "Dad," but his sleep paralysis kept him from doing so. They looked at each other for a few minutes, but then the boy's vision became less foggy and he was able to think more clearly. He leapt out of his bed screaming for his dad when he was met by his mother in the hallway. She said, "It's okay, sweetie. I miss him too," because his dad had died 2 months before this. The most painful things a human being can experience. Part 1. The sting of a bullet ant is far worse than any other insect. Dr. Justin Smith in his Sting Pain Index stated that being stung feels like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch rusty nail in your heel. The Maui tribe in Brazil initiates their young men by making them put a hand in a glove filled with these insects for 5 minutes straight. In 2016, YouTuber Coyote Peterson put this pain upon himself and his reaction was not pretty.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh! You're right.